Hello, everybody. Are you trying to write a book? Well, if so, you're in the right place. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and I'm here with our superstar author, Joanie Lindenmeyer, best-selling author, and we're here to talk with you as we do every Friday about how to write, publish, and promote a best-selling book that can touch lives all around the world. So, with us today, again, Joanie, welcome.
Hi there, Elizabeth. Hi, everybody. Glad to be with everybody. And you, of course, Elizabeth. Always a fun time.
Yes. Oh, I love this. We've been doing this for months and we've covered so much ground, but today's topic is really important. Do you want to share what that is, Joni?
Absolutely. It's remember the basics when you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really excited about this topic. I even have notes today for us. So
Okay.
get your pens and papers and tablets or phones ready to go, and maybe you can write down a few of these things or mark them down and go, oh, yeah, that would help me. That's a good reminder.
Yeah, so what happens is that writing a book can be so overwhelming. You're like, where do I start? And then you start and you feel like you just lost in the forest. And that's why a book coach like myself guides you through to navigate the book writing journey so that you are successful in reaching your destination with the least amount of detours, derailments, you name it. And that happens a lot. That's why most people never finish their book. But when you have a coach, you have someone who holds you accountable as I do. And so my next book coaching session, which you can learn about at twosisterswriting.com, starts in March. And I'm super excited to offer this because I help literally make dreams come true. Somebody just sent me a note, a card, old school, saying, thank you for helping me make this dream come true. So I did that for you, Joni, and I'm all of you out there. If you need help, I'm your person. I help you get it done. We have fun, we focus, and we learn the basics like Joni is just talking about today. So, Joni is a retired physical education teacher and a former Catholic nun who had never written
Yes.
a book before. You'd never even met an author before, right, Joni?
Correct. I've never even
Yeah,
been to a book launch and I don't really read books either. So
but you
yeah, you're
rocked
learning a
it.
lot about me, everybody.
Yes. So, Joni, let's start with the basics. What do you want to tell people out there who are aspiring to write their memoir, a novel, a business book, whatever it is?
Well, as you can see, I'm dressed for the occasion. I think that's my number one tip is be comfortable in when you're sitting at your computer or your paper or your tablet or what, be comfortable. Put on the clothes that help you to feel like you, because then you will come out in your book and your words. And so that's why I'm wearing my hat today. I wore this a lot when I typed, and it's just sort of my own symbol of being LGBTQ, about being a teacher, about being happy, about exercise, about being fun. And so wear your best, wear your
Mhm.
best.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm going to jump in. You talked about your book coaching program starting in March,
Yes.
and God darn, if I want to retake that. I mean, it's like golf lessons or basketball lessons, and it's like you can always be reminded of the basics. And what I loved about your book coaching, Elizabeth, is I'm remembering you on the Zoom. It was discussion, but you had a beautiful PowerPoint, and you went through the PowerPoint, and you had handouts and or worksheets, and complete these if you want, Joni. It was always a suggestion and advice. You never forced anything down my throat, but all those handouts, all those tools made it work for me. And I remember the very first thing you said, and this is tip number one, everybody, write this one down. It reminds me of an Irish comedian. Write this one down. Anyhow, why are you writing a book?
Mhm.
Fill that out. And Elizabeth had on her handout room to write that. And at first it was like, why am I writing this book? But you got to figure it out for you. That was the first question on that handout. And then the second question on that handout, which I love, and you and I have had discussions about this, who is your target audience? And I'm like, what the heck is she even saying? What's a target audience?
Uh-huh.
And so my version was, who do I want to talk to? Who do I want to talk with? Who do I want to share it with?
Mm-hmm.
So those are my first two key points. Do you add anything to those?
Oh no, those are key because you have to know who you're talking to. Think about in everyday life, if you're talking to your grandmother, your boss, your neighbor, your best friend. You're going to talk differently. You might use slang with one person and you might use like secret code words that you both understand, or you might use really formal language if you're speaking to an authority figure. So when you're writing, depending on what your book is, you have to know how to address your audience. So, for example, if you're a doctor writing a book for other doctors, you can use all the medical jargon you want and they'll know what you're talking about. If you're writing a doctor writing a book for the mainstream, for everyday people, you can't use those terms because when you confuse, you lose. You have
Good
to break it
point.
down into everyday people's understanding. And that's the key to understanding who your audience is. And then you have to know where to find your audience to market your book to them and also what types of promotions work for them. So if you're in a certain generation, your peers are going to be on Snapchat. But if you're in a different generation, your peers are going to be on Facebook. You have to understand where your people are. And because once you write and publish the book, you need to sell it. And so building your following while you're writing it is really key. And you did that, Joanie. It was you did such
Yes.
a great job. You even got these cards printed up that said, "I'm writing a book," and you sent them to
Right.
people.
And that's one of my points. So get ready to write this one down, everybody. Tell people what you're doing. So
Hmm.
whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or
Hmm.
your neighbor or whatever, tell people what you're doing. Because
Hmm.
what I found, Elizabeth, and I think this came from your book coaching again, it put the responsibility and the accountability on me to complete it, to do it, to stick with it. Because every time I told somebody I'm writing a book, then they had an expectation, which raised my expectation higher. And
Hmm.
and it was like, yes, this is what I need to do. I need to keep telling people, which
Hmm.
also I didn't know it at the time, Elizabeth, but
Hmm.
that was part of like the promotional strategy, I guess is what you would call it now. I was just telling people to build myself up to say, yes, Joanie, you can do this. This is like huge, 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 but you can do this. Keep telling people. And they affirmed and they were my cheerleaders and they were my support. And what can I do to help you? And it just led to so many things.
Hmm. I love that. I love that, Joanie. So the basics, we said we're going to talk about follow the basics of writing a book, and the basics
Yeah.
include your people. Your
Yes.
tribe. Our most successful authors, like yourself, begin when they're writing the book at least 3 months in advance of publishing. They send out blog posts about their book. They activate their entire email list. They reach out to organizations that are relevant to their book's topic. And they sell lots of books. So that's key. But getting back to
Yeah.
the actual writing, there's some things I
Yeah.
teach in my course that you rocked, Joanie, and some of them are making the reader feel like they're there,
Hmm. Hmm.
showing and not telling. It's easy to just tell a story, but you want to take your reader there. I drive my friends and family crazy if they say, "Oh, the restaurant was so great." I'm like, "What was great about it?" I want some details. I want to hear about the steak sizzling on the hot plate that they bring that's 500 degrees and say, "Please don't touch this plate." I want to smell the garlic butter on the bread. I want to hear the silverware clinking on the china and the crystal flutes clinking as people toast a happy occasion. I want to see the
Exactly.
tears streaming down someone's face if they're sad or if they have tears of joy. I want to
Yes.
see, hear, touch, taste, smell, and feel the experience. And so,
Yes.
really important because most people will just kind of gloss over and not use details and dialogue that um, make the story come alive. So, Johnny, take us to one of your.
Totally, totally. That was the very first poster. Because when you gave me these great tips in coaching, I would put them on just a blank piece of paper, and it's in my office right now. It's right behind my computer, and it says 5 senses, and I wrote them all out. Feel, touch, and then the sixth sense, of course, intuition. And so I wrote all those out. So every time as I was writing a sentence or a paragraph, and this comes to the next one, reread aloud what you wrote. So I reread, write this one down, everybody, reread aloud what you wrote. And then from there, you can say, oh, do I have anything in there that I can feel, touch, smell? Oh boy, help me out here. I just went blank of the six senses. And I was able to do that. And that's what helped me improve, because you saw my writing at the beginning. And then you said at the end, Joanie, your writing really improved, and I thought, yeah. That was really cool. But it came back to those basics,
Hmm.
using the five senses. Don't describe. I mean, don't tell, describe. Exactly. Which was
Hmm.
very, very, very cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
and, and so
follow.
so here's one of my props. And it may look really simple. It's an old broom handle. But what I found is as I started writing, Elizabeth, it's like exercise. I had to keep it going and I had to watch my form. I had to check myself on it. Am I doing this correctly? Elizabeth, is this sentence better? Is this sentence worse? And so it just became a routine that I did. And so the exercise part was super, super important for me to relate to, because I could relate to that. And or if you're baking a cake, you don't want to leave out an ingredient, because what would happen to the cake? It's the
Right.
same kind of thing. You've got to have these basics down.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the cake metaphor.
Yeah. Can you imagine
Wow.
making something without one of the ingredients? Maybe you forgot the sugar or the flour or the chocolate chips, or I mean, can you imagine making chocolate chip cookies and leaving out the chocolate chips? That would be like, oh my God, please.
Oh my gosh, you're so
Yeah.
brilliant. That's awesome. I love
You-
it.
So then there's the other part. Having somebody that is positive around you. Elizabeth, you are always that way as a book coach, always positive, always encouraging, complimenting, and if you don't have somebody, then you need to find somebody that can do that for you.
Hmm.
Because there are times where you're gonna get down on yourself and you go, oh, I haven't committed, I haven't written today. There's another tip: write every day. Write every day, no matter what. Maybe it's for 15 minutes, or maybe you spill out your guts and you're rocking and rolling like Rosie or Amy in the books that they're doing, and they just rocked it too. And they just let it happen. There are times, probably, Elizabeth, where you sit at your computer for hours when you're in a zone, and it's like it's just going, 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 going. Is that true for you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like an out of body experience because you're so into it, then you realize, "Oh, my hands are moving on the keyboard." It's like you're not even
Yes.
in touch with your physical because it's all this supernatural download experience. It's
Yes.
the wildest, most magical thing. Joni, I want to touch on the positivity because I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's you know what just to make them feel good. One of my coaching clients who did finish her book and got a book deal, she said, I really love working with you because you're honest. If something
Yes.
isn't good, I'm going to say so, and I'm going to
Yes.
offer constructive ways to improve it. And we
Yes.
literally work over the screen. I
Yes.
put it in Google Docs. I share my screen and I show them how to fix it. And I put it in different
Yes.
colors of font. So, or I cross things out. So I show. So positivity and the encouragement is phenomenal and it works great. It boosts people's confidence, but it comes with the hardcore rev renovations, revisions required
Revisions.
to
Yeah.
make the book excellent.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
It's such a good point. Such a good point. And again, coming from an exercise or coaching background, I want to listen to my coach tell me what I can do to improve. So if I'm doing my exercise and I'm way off and I'm not doing it correct or whatever, and I'm not holding it right, my feet aren't right, my shoulders aren't right, I want to be told that, because I don't see it and I don't feel
Mhm.
it, but I need to be told that, as
Right.
well as not yelled at. No, I don't like coaches that yell at people, but encourage and say, hey, this is a better way to do this. Let's take a look at it. And when you showed me on the screen marking off those lines and color coding it and going, now Joanie, look at this way versus this way, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like miracle. It was like, did you do that, Elizabeth? You can teach me to do that? Yes, like that. And so that, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Love it. I love it,
Okay,
Joni.
can I go down my list here?
Please.
Okay, let's see. We talked about read aloud. We talked about coaching. We talked about you being honest. We talked about positive team. Commit to writing every day. That was a really important one, to have a schedule, a routine of some way to do that. I was blessed because I'm retired. I don't have kids. I don't have a dog. And so I was able to do whatever I needed to do. Yes, I did not get rid of my friends or my family in the process, but you commit to every day, whatever that is. I have take a break. I remember there were times, Elizabeth, when I was really having difficulty putting words on the page and I was emotionally into it, but I just couldn't get the words there. I was grieving from Carol, and it'll be, she's 4 days. It was 2 years ago, 4 days. Today's the 26th. She died on the 30th. So I'm 2 years. So every now and then, even in the last couple of days, I get these emotions that hit me. And it's like, no, Joanie, just keep moving forward. She's happy. I'm happy. Just keep moving forward. But at the same time, you got to deal with the sadness. And so you have to take a break. You have to take a break when you're writing. You have to eat. You have to drink your water. You have to do all the things that help you to feel healthy. The next one I have on here is make sure it's in your voice. You started out with that one in our podcast today, because you are, here's my last prop. You are amazing.
Oh, I love
You are
that. Look at that.
amazing. Everybody out there right now, whether you're writing or not, you are amazing. Hug yourself. This is a pillow of amazing made by my sister Gail, but
Oh,
you are amazing, and believe that.
oh.
Believe that you have a story to share. Use your voice, use your truth.
Hmm.
And it's not about you. Elizabeth has talked about this many a time. It's not
Hmm.
about you. You're going to change somebody's life. You're going to probably save somebody's life. You don't know that now, but just keep writing, use
Yes,
your voice.
yes,
Um,
yes.
Sit in quiet when you're blocked. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Great advice from my coach, Elizabeth, here. When I was struggling, couldn't get the words out, it was like, Joanie, just go sit and be quiet with it. And, oh, darn, that worked so well. That's
Hmm.
worked so well. As you say, the divine, put your words
Downloads,
on that.
the supernatural downloads from the divine. That's what
Yeah,
writing is. If you believe it or
yeah.
not, that's really, you can say it comes from yourself, but it really is supernatural.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. And then you said, here's a tip, write this down. Have fun. Have
Yes,
fun. Yes, you got
yes,
to have fun in the process, and
yes.
oh my God, and if you're not a fun person, smile anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just practice your smile, because it's going to come in handy later. Let me tell you, when you're talking to people about your book. And if you notice, Elizabeth hardly ever doesn't smile. It's like you look at her and she's like that yellow sticker or whatever that has that great big
An
smile. That's
emoji.
Elizabeth, constantly smiling. And same with her sister Catherine. It's like they have not just invented the sticker of smiley face, they are the smile face. And so when you look at them, then just practice that and look in a mirror and say, you know what? And smile about it. Look in that mirror at yourself and just say, I'm an author. And
Yes.
then you move to the next phase and you're going to go, I'm a best-selling author,
Yes.
and so see, look, she's smiling big right now because
Because it,
Elizabeth is a best-selling author. Catherine is a best-selling author. And they know, like she
Mhm.
said, she's not blowing up anything up the yin yang. Okay, let's see. I have uh, a comment that Elizabeth would tell me. This is probably apropos right now. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Here we go. Write it down. Less is more.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh,
baby. I
Elizabeth, why
love
don't you
that
elaborate
one.
on that one, since I messed that up big time for a long time?
Uh-huh. Less
Would you
is more.
elaborate, please?
So less is more means when you tell a story to your friends, something really cool happened to you, right? You're going to tell it with the least amount of words, with the most impact, because you don't want to bore them. You want to keep their attention. You want to just keep dropping bombs that they're like, what? Are you kidding? Really? And so when you write, you need to do the same thing because your flat words on the page in black and white are competing with all the multimedia extravaganza of our world today with videos, phones, music, social media, you name it. We have this entertainment center in our hand all day long. And
Yes.
so for someone to take the time to write a book, read a book, it requires tremendous focus and brain energy, and everybody's attention spans are this big now. They're so shrunken, unfortunately. So when you
Yeah.
write, you need to practice less is more, which is word economy, to pack the most powerful punch with the fewest words possible. And so, what I advise is to write the story. Just tell the story first, get it out, pour it out on the page, boom, bang it out. Then go back, and I call it literary liposuction. You trim the flab, and trimming the flab can manifest in different ways. I know that makes everybody crack up, but it's true. You trim the fat flab and you make it tight and lean and strong. And so that can mean replacing passive verbs with active verbs. So instead of saying she walked slowly, you say she sauntered. And then when you use these really cool verbs, it makes your writing just pop with energy. It makes it crisp. It makes it interesting and like more textured instead of the boring language that we use every day. And it gives your reader this more robust reading experience that's more fun. And it also
Totally.
brands your writing as unique from your own
Yes.
voice. And so
Yes.
those are all the things I recommend on that point, Joanie.
Yes. Yeah, less is more. And to find those words, I had to go onto my phone and I'd said, well, what's an adjective for this word? What's another adverb for this word? Because I couldn't think of it right away. It wasn't coming until I got in that zone again of describing, not telling. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember you saying, Elizabeth, um, start your first chapter with a bang. Start it with a pizzazz that will just get the reader. And I think you used the word hooked. I don't remember the exact word you used, but
Yes.
start with a bang. So that's another poster up in my office. Start with a bang. Start with
Yes.
a bang.
Hmm.
And what I was thinking when I wrote None Better, I just didn't want to start it with a bang. I wanted to finish it with a bang. And
Ooh.
that's why I wrote that chapter on the rose garden,
Hmm.
come sit with me. And I think that's one of my best
Mm.
chapters in there. Oh, look what you just
Oh,
did. What you just
that
did.
chapter. Okay, everybody, what Joni just said, that chapter. So I coached her and then I edited the book. She wrote 500 pages, which we had to cut down to 300 pages. Less is more. And the scene that ends the book, Come Sit With Me, about the rose garden that was created in Carol's memory at her home in Oregon. That chapter gave me chills, made me cry, tears of joy and sadness.
Oh,
And Joni wrote it in this brilliant way that you can't really tell if she's talking to Carol or to you or what, but it's this open invitation to come and share the joy and beauty of this gorgeous rose garden, which I've seen. And Joni often has these ginormous multicolored roses from the rose garden during the summer season on these interviews on our podcast, and they're just spectacular. Catherine and I have been to Joni's home. It's beautiful, and we've seen the flowers in person and the rose garden.
yep,
It's just so
yep.
beautiful. But Joni truly ends the book with a bang because this is like it just imprints on your heart and soul when you read the way she wrote it. And it's from her
Mhm.
heart and soul, and that's the power of excellent writing.
Right, right. And the beginning to start with a bang. I just remember you saying, "Oh, but let's put this here," and you were able to do that. You were able to put puzzle pieces together that I wasn't sure exactly if they fit in that chapter or went with another chapter. And that's the other advantage of having a book coach, a publisher, an editor, an expert, everybody, because you know that's your expertise, Elizabeth and
Hmm.
Catherine. And oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine anybody doing it by themselves. I cannot even imagine that.
Right,
It's
right.
like if there was a world award for a book coach and publisher and editor, I'd give it to twosisterswriting.com. That's what I would do.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Joni.
I,
Thank
I
you.
know it's not quite a Golden Globe, but let's see. I'll give you this one. I'll give you this one.
Oh,
You are
beautiful.
amazing.
Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
interestingly, my program that starts in March is a group program, which does help people. However, more and more people are signing, excuse me, people are signing up to work with me privately for 6 months, like you did.
Yes.
So, private book coaching is really powerful. In fact, the next book we're publishing, she's like, I don't know how anybody does this in a group. I really need your one-on-one attention to customize the writing experience for my needs. And so it works both ways and it's magical. The last person last week, I had a session with a woman who's doing private coaching. She had been trying to write this book for years and
Uh-huh.
she was overwhelmed, afraid, and all of a sudden we had our 2 hour session to begin. And she proceeded to write 3,000 words for the first chapter, and it was brilliant. Yes. So I help you break through those blocks, the fear, the overwhelm, not knowing where to start, having so much content, your whole life story. If you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, writing your life story, you have decades worth of stories. How do you pick them? How do you decide what goes in and what goes out? It's like a
Right.
mountain of life experience, and there's this gorgeous sculpture down in there somewhere. But what do you chisel away? What do you hammer off? And what remains? A
Yep. And that
masterpiece.
and that leads me to my last 2 points.
Oh,
Follow the outline.
yes.
Follow the outline, because otherwise, like me, I was like, oh, off on this tangent and off on this tangent. And it's like, Joanie, get your act together, get back to the basics, get your act together, follow your outline. And which
Hmm.
led to like the book cover, which led to be clear, make sure that everything is clear and easy to read so
Hmm.
people don't have to fret about it or struggle with it. You want it easy and clear to look at and to
Hmm.
read, those are my last 2 points:
Okay.
outline and clear and easy. It's been so much fun today, and it's just a reminder of myself to continue to do these things too, Elizabeth.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. So do you have any more points, Joni?
I don't think so. You
Okay.
probably do, Coach. What do you think?
Well, we covered a lot of ground today, a lot. So, anybody out there, please listen to this again, watch this again, share it with anybody who's trying to write a book because these are really, really solid points. And of course, everybody wants to be a bestseller and sell lots of books, make money, be influential, help people everywhere, even save lives, as Joni said. But you can't do that until you write the great book. So you
That's
really
right.
need this guidance and apply it and listen to it over and over. And if you want customized assistance, please visit twosisterswriting.com where I can help you as your book coach, either privately or in my group program. Joni is also really happy to talk with aspiring writers. You can reach her on Facebook at Joanie Lindenmeyer. She's spoken to many people that I've referred to her who have questions. Well, what's it really like? And she's told them
Yep.
clearly what it's like for her. Um,
Yep.
and it's exciting because everybody has this dream. It's on their life fantasy list and it is attainable. It is doable. But
Yes.
sometimes, just like when you want to get fit, and I work with a fitness coach who 3 times a week puts me through some grueling workouts, but I get the results.
Ooh, look at that.
Yes.
Look at that bicep and
I'm,
tricep. Woo-hoo.
yeah, yeah, I get those results and
I'm not going to arm wrestle you.
I feel phenomenal because I put in the work and I'm accountable to myself and my
Yeah,
coach, my
that's the way.
fitness trainer, because they are the expert and they tell me when I walk in that gym, I know I'm in for it. And I do what they say, even though it hurts. I'm
Yeah.
sweating, my heart
Yeah.
is pounding, but I get the results because they are guiding me. They're my coach. And that's what I do when I help people like you, Joni,
Yes.
and others.
Oh, thanks be to
Right.
God. Thanks be to God for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this has been one of our best podcasts, Joni. This was so robust.
Good. Good. And maybe there's some points that we need to take further. I don't know. And so, like you just said, maybe if people can give us a review, I guess that's a point too. Always ask for people to review what you've written once it's written. I think that's really, really crucial because it helps you and it helps you and I, Elizabeth, if people can give us a review or a comment on what we're doing. So, but I've
Yeah,
had a blast today. I've had a blast
me
today.
too. Just a quick word of caution on asking people to read your writing. It
Oh,
has to be people you trust. And Joni, you
oh,
surround yourself with other awesome people like yourself who are super upbeat. But there are haters out there.
yes,
They
there
are
are.
drinking so much haterade and they want to dump it
Yes,
all over what you're doing. So
yes,
you have to trust. They're called
yes.
frenemies, and they might be jealous that you're writing a book and they're not. They might be
Yeah.
resentful. They might,
Money hungry.
uh-huh. Yeah. So
Ah,
decide who you trust to read your book. And there's also your friends and family can have different agendas for you, and they might be having the best intentions of trying to protect you, of not taking the risk of publishing a book. Oh, you're going to embarrass yourself. Oh, don't tell the world that. That's your private information. You write your book the way you want to write it, and you decide
yes,
what consequences,
yes,
if any, you are willing to face. It's not
yes.
up to other people to tell you. That is a huge problem for people.
Yes.
So if you're
Maybe
going to
we need
have,
to do a podcast on that, Elizabeth.
okay,
Just on the I'm gonna say the downfall, the crap, the hard stuff. I don't
okay.
know if that would, oh boy, we can only do
No.
that for like 10 minutes, then we got to zip back upwards. You know?
Oh, I know, but it's real. I used to
Yeah.
do these workshops in Detroit called How to Write a Book and Get Published. I did them at Wayne County Community College District, a community college in our area that's phenomenal. I used to teach English there. And I would be on TV, on the radio promoting it, and they were standing room only, like hundreds of people came, and they were
Huh?
free. So this
Uh-huh.
one woman who's prominent here, she came and she attended, and then she called me to ask some additional questions about writing her book. And she later published it, and she called me. She said, "You know what? I had called other authors or other people who help, and they gave me wrong information on purpose because they were jealous of her
Oh,
prominence, her
wow.
talent." Yes, I know it's hard to believe. And she
Wow.
said, "Elizabeth, I just want to thank you for being so forthcoming. You helped me for free and you told me the truth. And as a result, I wrote a great book that I think became a bestseller." So I,
Wowie
I
Shazam.
I know. It's
Wow.
hard to believe that that's out there, but it is. And so just a word of caution, only trust people. For real haters in your life, don't even tell them you're writing a book. Say,
Yeah, that's true.
"I wrote a book. You want to come to my book party?" And they'll be
Yeah,
like,
I love
"What?"
doing that.
Yeah. So just
Yeah,
that's the best. That's the best way to proceed in silence, stealthily, and then boom.
right. Speaking of which, can I end with one final thought and one
Sure.
final, and it's an invite to everybody. Elizabeth and I are co-authoring, which has been a blast. We are co-authoring the next two books. We're working on the book covers. We're doing all kinds of stuff with it. But the launch, as of now, June 1st, and it will be in Brookings with a book launch at the Brookings Pride in Azalea Park. And so it's
Nice.
not going to be in a library. It's not going to be in a bookstore. It's going to be in a park and it is going to be huge. There is going to be free food. Can you believe
Yes.
that? Free food, lots of great stuff. And I am pumped up about that, Elizabeth. And
Yes.
hopefully the dates are all going to work out with a zillion other things going on. But that's the goal right now. And so people
Yes.
put that on your calendar. Write
Hmm.
that down. And if you cannot attend because you're in Hawaii or wherever you happen to be, you know what? Then just send happy thoughts or send a card or send an email or send something that says with you in spirit. And
Yes,
as
I love
Elizabeth
it.
said, she just got a card, an old fashioned real card from somebody. It's so powerful because you can put them on the refrigerator and you can put them under your pillow or wherever you want to do with them, you know. But it helps the whole thing.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I don't have quite the ability to send you a card right now, Elizabeth. But if I could send you a card and send Catherine a card, I would just say, thank you, two sisters writing. Thank you, God.
Oh, you're the best, Joni. Thank you so much.
Well, thank
The
you.
You're welcome. It's a delight. The two books will be available for pre-order pretty soon on our website, twosisterswriting.com.
Good
But
point.
our graphic designer is now Deborah Perdue of Illumination Graphics. She is actually putting the finishing touches on the two book covers. So we'll be able to
Yeah.
put those for pre-sale, and we will definitely announce here on the podcast when those books are available. They're going to be phenomenal.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
Okay, kiddo. Man, what a day. What a day.
Yes, yes. All right, Joni. Thank you. Thank you. Have the best day. And I wish you healing and happiness.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Big
Hmm.
hugs.
Big hugs. And everybody, please visit twosisterswriting.com. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins here with Joanie Lindenmeyer, and we wish you happy writing. Drop us a comment, share this video with anybody, or if you're listening, share this with anybody who is aspiring to write a book because we are here to help you. So we'll see you next Friday here on the Two Sisters Writing and Publishing YouTube channel or wherever you are listening to this. And we wish you the greatest success. Bye bye.